The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, today on Aging Horizons we're going to be talking about tobacco use prevention. Really important topic. We want people to stay healthy and safe, and knowing that, some of the things like tobacco use are probably not the best for us. So we have a great guest today to talk about all the programs that you can access in Montana. Stay tuned.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
Receiving help for Ella has been life-changing, and the best word for it is relief. I was the therapist, I was the aide, and I couldn't be the mom because emotionally you're just to your wits' end, you're trying to survive.
I provide care for the Harrises, specifically their daughter Ella. Respite care is extremely challenging, but the rewards that you receive from it are 100 times more than working with a child that doesn't have special needs. Once they get something, it's everything. It's a you celebrate. You don't just enjoy those moments. You celebrate every moment that you get, that you guided them to that next step.
Respite. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. Will you provide it? Call 800-224-6034 or visit respite.mt.gov.
It went from survival to enjoying life and being able to be a mom again.
Brought to you by the Montana Broadcasters and this station.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Kimi Everman, and as I said in the opener, we're going to be talking about tobacco use today and how, specifically, prevention of tobacco use. We have just a really knowledgeable, wonderful guest with us, Nicole Ani. And Nicole, you're a program manager with the Montana Tobacco Use Prevention Program out of DPHHS.
Yes, I am, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, welcome to the show. And I guess without being gloomy and doomy, let's talk about the basic kind of statistics and reasons why this is such an important thing, this prevention of tobacco use.
And I love being here talking about it because it is so important, and it's something that we often forget, or we've heard so much about how commercial tobacco use is not good for us, and so we just kind of brush it off of, tune it out, we know that. Mm-hmm. But it still is the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. It still kills 1,600 Montanans each year. Wow. And we still have 26% of Montanans that use commercial tobacco in our state. So it's still a really big problem. Right. And the thing about smoking specifically is that it's just so harmful to your health. I mean, most people know that it leads to lung cancer, but it can affect nearly every single organ in your body, from your heart to your bladder, your bones, your mouth, your eyes, so many aspects. And it can also lead to dementia. And not,
really?
Right. And not everybody who smokes is going to ultimately get dementia, but if you do smoke and then you quit, you can actually reduce your risk down to that of somebody who doesn't smoke, which, I mean, why wouldn't you want to take that opportunity?
Right. You know, and also I think, I don't know how much they cost, but it's expensive.
Oh boy.
To smoke cigarettes anymore. And, you know, I think that you want to have a list of reasons why it's so good for you to consider not using tobacco.
I mean, there are so many benefits from quitting, not only your health, but your wallet. You can afford so many other things. But the reality is, I mean, I think a lot of people might assume that, oh, I've been smoking for 30 years, it's too late for me to quit.
Well, it's not, is it? Because you have a 20-minute stat here that's talk about that.
It's phenomenal. I mean, pretty much immediately after you quit, your body starts to begin repairing itself. So just 20 minutes after quitting, your heart rate starts to lower. And then just weeks to a couple months after quitting, you reduce your risk of heart attack and your lungs start to function better. You can breathe easier. And only 1 year after quitting, your risk of developing coronary heart disease actually cuts in half.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's, wow.
Yeah, that is pretty wonderful because I think, you know, we are definitely a culture where we want immediate gratification. And 20 minutes is pretty immediate, right?
It is.
And wouldn't be, you know, just try it, right? Just try it. Get into it, whatever works, but consider it.
Right, and you're not the only one who wants to quit out there. There's a stat that 70% of people who smoke want to quit.
Wow, that's huge.
It is huge. So most people, they get hooked into it at a very, very young age. 9 out of 10 people started smoking before the age of 18. So they're getting hooked into it young and addicted, and so many people addicted for life, and these people want to quit. And the good news is there's lots of support out there to help you quit.
Well, and let's talk about just one of those because there's a really good quit line out there.
Yes, we are so lucky in Montana to have a completely free quit line. It's called the Montana Tobacco Quit Line, and it's available to all Montanans who use any form of commercial tobacco, from smokeless tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, e-cigarettes, any form. These new nicotine pouches, they can help you quit it all.
Yeah. Like you said, you don't have, it's not just cigarettes, because I think one of the next ones that I worry about is the smokeless tobacco that people are putting in their mouth. So you can give a call. We're going to put the number up on the screen, and you can give a call. And what happens when you call that quit line?
Well, there's a few different ways to get into the quit line. So you can call the number 1-800-QUIT-NOW, or you can visit our website at quitnowmontana.com.
Sure.
And you can enroll through both avenues. Or one other great way is to just talk to your doctor about it. Any doctor that you see can talk to you about your tobacco use.
Right.
And then they can refer you into the quit line.
Right.
And then then if it is a referral, the quit line will call you just 24 hours after they receive that referral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Quick.
It is quick.
Well, and we're going to talk a lot more about that when we come back in the next segment. Folks, you know, the resources are out there, and it's really, it's okay to reach out, even if you don't quit today or tomorrow. Reaching out, getting the information that you need, and then preparing to not use tobacco, commercial tobacco, any longer. You know, it took you a few years to get there. It might take you a little while to back it up, but that's okay. We just want you to have the information that you need to live a healthier, happier life, because food will taste better, and that's my favorite thing. So come on back. We have a lot more for you.
With as many as 1 in 10 Americans at risk for Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia, chances are someone you know and love will receive that diagnosis. When that happens, you may well feel devastated, but know that you are not alone. Help is available. You don't have to face dementia by yourself. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
It's been 27 years. I never thought I'd still be smoking, but here I am, COPD and all. I'm about to have a granddaughter. There's so much to show her, but I'm scared I won't be able to keep up like I used to. I kind of gave up on myself on quitting. But it's different now. I want to be here for her and for my daughter.
When I stopped showing up, Jim showed up at my door. He took me to the hospital in town to get me help. That's the day Jim saved my life.
Everyone has a role to play in preventing suicide. Know the signs and don't be afraid to speak up. If someone you know is in crisis or emotional distress, the only wrong thing to say is nothing at all. Call 800-273-TALK or text MT to 741-741.
Every generation produces heroes, men and women who step forward to defend our country in time of need, no matter the personal cost to themselves. And though we can never fully repay them, we can make sure they have access to low-cost, long-term care when they need it. That's what Montana's Veterans Homes are all about. If you've got a hero in need in your family, call us. We can help.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here with Nicole Ani today talking about tobacco prevention use. Welcome, Nicole, so good to have you. Now, when we left our last segment, we were talking about your quit line, or the quit line, and I want to deep dive into that a little bit more because that's a pretty great resource. And you also talked about enrolling in whatever the program or the quit line or whatever. So let's talk about the whole process. I've just called you on the quit line. What happens now? Yep, what happens now?
So once you call into the quit line, then you go through kind of a series of initial questions just to get to know you a little bit better, understand your smoking or your tobacco use behavior, and just get a little more information so that the coaches can better help you through the quitting process.
Okay, and let's just stop there for a sec. The coaches are the folks that you're actually speaking with on the hotline.
Those will be the people that you have your coaching sessions with.
Okay,
so when
gotcha.
you first call in, you're going to be going through a series of questions, but that's not necessarily going to be with the individual who's going to end up coaching you. And so once you go through those first questions, which is about 10 to 15 minutes, then you can jump into your first coaching call right then and there.
Sure.
And this is all completely free. And once you have completed your first coaching call, then you have access to free nicotine replacement therapy. So that's patches, lozenges, or gum. And you also have access to some free cessation medications. Usually we have Chantix available for free, but there's been a recall. So we haven't, unfortunately, been able to offer Chantix for quite some time. But as soon as that comes available, again, we'll be offering that. And then callers can also get access to bupropion. That's another cessation medication that can help you quit.
That's awesome. So you just call, you answer some basic questions just about your use, your life, just to help that coach know the best way to coach you, right? Yeah. And then once you've done that, are you enrolled? Is that okay?
Once you go through those questions, you're officially enrolled, and then once you complete that first coaching call, then you have access to the free medications and the free nicotine replacement therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about the quit line itself? Is it 24 hours a day, or what? Tell us some more about the quit line.
Yes, so
The technical parts.
It's open 7 days a week. It's open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. and there is a 24-hour voicemail. So if it's after hours and you just find yourself in that moment, you are ready to take that step forward, you can certainly call into the quit line, leave a voicemail, and they will call you back and get you enrolled and going. And then, once you're hooked up with that coach, they're so fantastic. They're specially trained to work with you to develop a quit plan that's specific to you and that's going to work for you. And they can help you anticipate things that are going to trigger you and make you want to relapse and go back into smoking or your tobacco use. So they're going to help you walk through all of those. And even if you have a slip up, they're not going to judge you for that. That is kind of expected along your journey. Sometimes it can take people 7 to 10 different attempts just to successfully quit tobacco. And we know that that's the case. It's just so difficult. And they're there to support you no matter how many slip-ups you might have.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned training, because I was going to ask you about that. The folks that are manning the hotlines, are they trained specially in what they're talking about?
Yep, they go through a significant amount of training to become a tobacco treatment specialist, and many of them are former tobacco users themselves, so they can relate to you and talk to you. And we have other programs that are specially staffed with people who are trained to work with certain populations.
So you're not just calling up and getting just Joe Schmo. I mean, it's a person that really understands where you're coming from. They may have been a smoker themselves, so they really understand where you're coming from. And they're not there to judge.
No, absolutely
they're
not.
only there to coach, because that's their name, but also to be a support for you, because I assume that you can call in between sessions if something, like you just said, if you're feeling like, oh wow, I'm really wanting to smoke a cigarette.
Yep. So the program is 5 calls, but even after you've completed 5 calls with your coach, you can still call back for more support. It's not like you're completely done and you can't come back. You can engage with the quit line however many times you need to throughout the year.
Well, I think that's important to point out, because I think, maybe people think, oh, that's kind of over the top, but really it's not. It's a substance. Nicotine is a substance that is no different than any other substance that you're trying to avoid, and to have the support of that coach or the line itself might mean the difference between someone smoking or not.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, and our quit line is highly successful. We have a 36% success rate, which for some people doesn't sound very high, but when you compare that to quitting completely on your own, quitting on your own, you have about a 3 to 5% success rate. So you compare 3 to 5% to 36%, and that's pretty great.
Wow. Nicole, awesome. Just awesome program, awesome resources. So glad that we have it. And folks, this is not something that you need to do right this minute. You can call up and ease into it. Come on back. We have a whole lot more to tell you.
I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1992, and I went into denial. It made me angry. I was a professional chef, and I didn't want to change my eating style. It took me a long time to get serious about managing my health. My perspective changed from resentment to one of loving my body, the container for my spirit. Getting help from my diabetes educator supported my goals of improved self-care. I want to feel good and have a great life. My diabetes educator helps me do this.
If the Aging Network in Montana was a restaurant, the sign out front would say, over 50 million meals served over the last 30 years. Since adequate nutrition is critical to health and quality of life, nutrition services are an important factor in keeping older Montanans healthy, independent, and living in their community and home. To find out more about senior nutrition programs in your area, call 1-800-551-3600 3191.
Is that Robert Knievel? Captain Lewis, Captain Clark, I'm officially Evel Knievel now. I'm getting my Montana Real ID.
Did you make an appointment at mtrealid.gov?
Yes, sir.
Smile.
I brought my non-laminated Social Security card, 2 documents proving my current residential address, and my certified birth certificate.
Approved.
Go to mtrealid.gov.
Now I can fly! It's that easy.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here talking about tobacco prevention, or tobacco use prevention with Nicole Ani. Nicole, great to have you. It always is. So let's talk a little bit more about, because you have some other resources that are kind of going along with the quit line and the tobacco cessation. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, so the quit line launched in 2004, and since then we've really just been expanding it and tailoring a lot of services to specific populations that need more support. So for example, we have a specific American Indian program. It's the Montana American Indian Commercial Tobacco Program, and it has its own dedicated phone number, 1-855-5AI-QUIT, and it has its own dedicated website as well. And the great thing about that program is that American Indians in Montana can call in and they will get assigned to a dedicated American Indian coach who truly understands the difference between commercial tobacco addiction and traditional tobacco use in a ceremonial setting, because it's very different.
It is very different.
And they respect the use of tobacco in the traditional setting, but understand the role that commercial tobacco addiction has played in their community as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a wonderful sort of companion to the rest of the folks on the quit line.
It is, yeah.
What else?
We also, just a couple of years ago, launched My Life, My Quit in Montana, and that's a dedicated program for youth. And that really was started on the heels of the rise in the youth e-cigarette epidemic. So we really wanted to have more services that were tailored to youth in our state that can help them quit really all forms of tobacco products, but specifically e-cigarettes. So that program's My Life, My Quit. And if somebody is interested in that program, it has a texting service along with it. You know.
Well, and you know, that's great, because I firmly believe we need to meet people where they are, and that is where those folks are. And you know, I also think it's important in this setting, because we have so many grandparents raising grandchildren anymore, and it's very possible that there's a teen in the household who's using tobacco that you'd like to help. You know, one of the grandparents would like to help. So absolutely great. Anything else that's an accompanying program?
Yeah, so I'll just say really quick, with My Life, My Quit, they can text Start My Quit to 36072 or visit mylifemyquit.com, and then that's how they can hook into those services. And then additional to that, we have a pregnancy program, or Quit Now Montana pregnancy program for pregnant women who are ready to quit. It has extra calls. It has cash incentives for completed coaching calls. So there's lots of benefits for engaging with that one. And if you're American Indian and pregnant, you can have an American Indian coach and benefit from the pregnancy program and all of the additional incentives that come with that program. So there's
you know,
so many great things.
When I say meet people where they're at, boy, that's really doing that and reaching that goal. That's just absolutely great to hear about a program.
Yeah, we're always looking to ways that we can expand, and I'll mention this as well for all Montanans. Not only can you call the Quit line, but you can also chat with a coach live. Wow. So when you go to quitnowmontana.com, there's a little chat button that you can click on, and if you're just not one who likes to talk on the phone with a coach, you can certainly chat your coaching sessions.
And in our last couple of minutes, Nicole, I guess I just want to talk a little bit about, this is an addicting situation, and folks, it's hard. It's hard to quit smoking, but that first step, that's all you need to do, right? Mm-hmm. Is just reach out, maybe call the Quit line, maybe go to the website. We can put that address up. It's all about just taking that first step.
It really is. Nicotine is highly addictive, and sometimes people look at it as just a bad habit. Right. Bad people with a bad habit. Right. And that is absolutely not the case. Right. It is a substance, like you said. Right. Very addictive, and these are good people with a very difficult addiction that they're trying to quit. Right. So yeah, take that first step, and you may have to take multiple first steps, and that's just okay. Put yourself out there and try.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I think, again, we're going to point out that really addicting substance can just get you. Mm-hmm. And so many folks, I know myself, that are smokers, have smoked for years. Mm-hmm. And from when they were young, kids, relatively young teenagers. Mm-hmm. And it must be terribly hard, and I really respect anybody for trying, because it might take a couple times, and that's okay, isn't it?
Just take advantage of the resources that are available to you. The Quit line is completely free, and they're there for you 7 days a week.
Yeah, right.
So take advantage of that.
Right. Well, Nicole, it's been great having you here today, and this is such great information, and we're going to put your numbers and stuff up on the screen so folks can reach out, because we really want to encourage that.
Great. Thank you so much for having
me.
It's been wonderful.
Absolutely. Folks, again, you're not bad. You're just using a substance that has kind of ensnared you, and you need maybe some guidance, maybe you need some information, maybe you need the support of a coach at the Quit line, because that helps you get through. It's all okay. It's all okay to start over and over if you have to. There's no judgment on this. We just want you to get healthy. For Aging Horizons, I'm Kimmy Everman, and thanks for being with us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.